to episode 203 of Marketing Without the Marketing. Happy to have you here. My name is Michael Bosey. I'll be your host. Glad to have the NBA back again. Season started last week, and it got me thinking of a little metaphor that you could apply to your own work, and I want to talk about that today. All right, there are two ways to get 3 points in today's game. As we all know, a basket is worth 2 points, but there are two ways to get a little bit extra, to do 50% better and actually get 3 points or get a chance at that, right? So you can go to the rim, draw the foul, or you can hit a three-pointer. And these two things represent two different strategies and ones that you can directly apply to the work that you do. Now, both of them require skill, but they kind of represent different philosophies. Let's look at this, right? So if you go to the rim, the idea here is that, through brute force, strength, or power, you're going to fight your way through coverage to get to the rim and get the chance at getting the basket and the and one. Or the other way to approach this is to be wily and wind your way around the defense, get to the rim, try to draw the foul, get the opposing player to commit the foul. Now, having this succeed requires two things to occur, right? First of all, the defense has to make a mistake and foul, right? And you're depending on the ref's judgment that a foul has actually been committed. In other words, in this strategy, your fate is in the hands of others. And if it works, here's the other thing, you only get a chance at the extra point, right? You still have to shoot from the free throw line. But in general, this strategy is a good risk because, even if you don't get a chance at the and one, you can still likely walk away with 2 points. After all, you got into the rim, you can still score the basket, play goes on, and you got your 2 points. Maybe you didn't get the three, but great. Now, the other side of it is to take the three-pointer. Different skill set, different philosophy. But the difference is this one is all or nothing usually, right? So you still have to have the skill to find a way to get yourself open. You let it fly from deep, and either you hit it or you don't. If you do, you get 3 points, great. It's an exciting play in basketball, and it succeeded. That's great. But if you don't hit it, not only do you get 0, more often than not, it ends up in a turnover, right? So now you've given the ball away. So it really is kind of an all or nothing, high risk but high reward play. So that raises a couple questions. Which one is better? And the point of this episode, how does it apply to your work? And of course, it all depends on the skill set matched with your level of risk. So when we apply this to content strategy, for instance, in putting content out there, are you happy going for the high percentage shots, right? Hitting mid-range jumpers all day? Or are you comfortable with taking a little bit more risk? So for instance, when you go for it and try to get 3 points with one of these strategies, what does that look like? Right? Are you going to the rack trying to draw the foul? In other words, are you looking to play off your opponent, your competition? And that might look like, responding to a competitor's strategy, lowering your price, changing your business model. And are you also letting yourself be subject to the referee's opinion? And the referee in this case is any gatekeeper, right? So that might look like submitting articles for a publication or trying to get signed as an author or as a band. Or are you taking the bigger risk and trying to hit the three from deep? Honing your skills and just letting it fly, right? Taking the big risk. In this case, that might look like, an all or nothing marketing campaign that you're running. But also we could apply this to blogging, podcasting, whatever, putting a ton of effort into something, high risk because of your time, maybe not even money. You might get nothing from it, right? It might not work. You might hit it big. That's the upside. Or you might get nothing, a lot of effort that goes really into the ether. Now, you can map this metaphor to your own work, and It might sound like I favor one strategy over the other, but it's really up to you. What is your style of play? What's your level of risk? And only you can decide that. So I hope that this episode gives you something to think about. I find metaphor to be a really effective tool because it gives you a different structure for thinking, right? So take a problem that you're having or something that you're trying to solve, and just the exercise of mapping it onto something else that already exists, a structure that's already out there that you can see and is obvious, can be helpful. Now, it may not work, may not fit, but the exercise is what's worth it, and hope that that's what this episode has done for you. All right, thank you very much for listening. As always, I really appreciate that you choose to give any attention at all to me. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you again. We'll see you on the next episode.